Cool. We can start letting people in.
All right.
Got it.
Hey, Bill. Just be patient with us. You guys, we're just letting everybody in. We've got a big list today.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Just going through emails here and seeing what's new.
Alan, I love your background. Is that oak tree? It's beautiful. Looks like the preserve.
Yes, it's oak tree. It's a preserve.
I love it. Letting people in, you guys.
Getting there.
Yep.
I can see them.
Going through the list little by little, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like we've got everybody right now, but we will still have some folks trickling in. So I just want to go through some housekeeping items with Zoom. I know a lot of you have been on these calls before and are very, very familiar, but we have some new folks that are joining today. So I just want to make sure that everybody gets the same spiel. Make sure that you are on mute. So if you go to the very bottom of your screen, all the way over to the left, you'll see, it looks like an old-timey icon of a microphone. Make sure there's a big red line through it. So right next to it, you'll see what looks like an upside down V. You can pull that down and mute yourself. And then right next to that icon is an icon of a video camera. So it's your choice. If you feel comfortable being on video, then you can have your video on. But again, right next to it is that upside down V. You can pull that down and then have a big red line through it if you don't want to be on video. Totally your call. We are recording today, as we always do for our board meetings. And then once the meeting is over, give me a little bit so that I can crunch it down so that I can actually upload it to YouTube and to the portal to be under the calendar for today's date, Groundhog's Day, February 2nd. And we'll also have the agenda there. And then I'll also put it under documents, board meetings. So you'll have the agenda there and then the video. So if you missed anything, if you want to watch it again, if your neighbors missed it, we have it recorded for you. And so at this time, I would like to do some introductions before I share my screen with the agenda. Today we have with us the board with board president, which is Jennifer Mahaffey from Taylor Morrison. We also have Karen Erickson from Taylor Morrison on your declarant board, and then your homeowner board member, Steve Bay. And then also today I have my Nova colleague, Talia Martin, who's been so gracious to let you guys in, make sure everybody's muted. Christina's going to try to join us later, but last minute she got called into a meeting, so she'll be in later probably. And then of course we have Takara, who is our lifestyle manager at Oak Tree. I'm sure most of you guys know her. If not, you get to see her beautiful face today on camera. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that I can turn it over to Jennifer, your board president.
Well, welcome to, get this, February 2nd, 2022. It's a lot of twos in that date. For those of you who didn't, anxiously go to the news, the poor groundhog saw a shadow. So A little bit more winter. Boo. But we are at the Oak Tree board meeting. Sorry, I'm actually trying to move my screen so I can see more of you. Give me a quick second. I was able to do this last time. Yeah, guess not. Oh, there we go. It's nice when I can see people's faces. So there we go. All right, so I will go ahead and call today's board meeting to order, formally at, let's see, 4:08. And our first item of business, as you see on the minutes, agenda, is to approve the October 2021 meeting minutes from our last board meeting. So for Karen and Steve, I'm assuming you've already reviewed the minutes from your packet.
I move to approve.
Okay.
Seconded.
Perfect, thanks. That's easy, and so these will get posted on the portal. And that means we move right quickly into our treasurer's report and our financial overview. So Dawn will go ahead and scroll.
Yes. So the financial report as of December 2021, the financial reports were emailed to the board on January 18th, 2022. As of December 31st, 2021, the current account balances are the total operating account assets, $992,837.65. Checking account, $987,464.03. The delinquency as of December 31st, 2021 was $505. All portal emails on file at this time, which we've got some that have 2 on each account file. So we have 443 folks that are signed up to the portal. I'll scroll back up to our agenda.
Yeah, it looks like we go right into our committee reports. So it looks like ACC is up first, and I believe I saw Lorraine on here somewhere. There she is.
Yay.
Go ahead.
Yes, for the ACC committee, I don't know how many of you are new, but this is a committee that is under the direction of the board of directors and the HOA management. And our purpose is to ensure the architectural standards for Ovation at Oak Tree are maintained throughout the community. And with saying that, as per the CCRs and the Oak Tree rules and regulations, you will need to complete an ACC application if you would like to make any alterations to the exterior of your house. And prior to completing the ACC application, we really encourage you to review the ACC documents and videos that are found on the portal. And who doesn't like one-stop shopping? So for your convenience, you can now find everything that you need in one location. So when you log on to the HOA portal, you'll see a blue column on the left-hand side. Scroll down to the ACC documents, standardizations, click on that, and voila, you have all the 5 links you need. The first link is the standardizations document, and that provides you guidance with what the association has considered and approved previously. And this document is updated regularly. So I really encourage every time you want to submit an application request that you review this. Because when I say it's updated regularly, it could be as often as monthly. The second link you'll find on there is the Homeowners Landscaping Frequently Asked Questions. And that's just exactly what it is. It's questions that people have that we haven't covered in standardizations. The third link is to the ACC application form itself that you can print off and submit. The fourth link is the ACC section of the Ovation Handbook, which gives a great overview of the ACC and offers tips on how to make a good ACC application request. And last but not least, the fifth link is to the video that Dawn has created that shows you the process on how to complete and submit an application. So that's what we've been busy doing, and we hope it really does make your life easier, because we do want to encourage stress, whatever word you want to use. Please submit an application for anything that you're wanting to do to the exterior of your house. That's it.
Thanks, Lorraine. All right, so we move to the landscaping committee, and Where's Ed? Oh, there he is. He's not in space. That's why I didn't see him. There you go.
Yeah, no, this time I decided to actually stay home and not go out of space. So hi all, I'm chairman of the Landscaping Committee, and as most of you probably know, our job is to walk around and keep an eye on the common areas as well as the front yards, the grasses, make sure that the monarch maintenance is being performed to the contract's specifications, and also just to kind of maintain the overall look and feel of the neighborhood. And we do that by walking around the neighborhood. We used to walk as a group, but right now we're actually walking separately because as the neighborhood grows, obviously we can't cover everything. So each one of our committee members has a route that they walk on a weekly basis just to kind of keep an eye on things. And then they report back to me, and I get with Dawn, and then we work with the landscaper to make sure that any issues that have come up are taken care of. And some of the things that we came across with, we're just actually coming out of probably the slow time of the year for us. We're coming into spring or getting ready for spring, so that's when our busiest time is. So we'll be walking around. We had to replace a couple dead trees, perhaps in the one of the retention ponds. We had some couple trees out in the very front. The front entrance was replaced this winter. A couple dead plants here and there. So if you see anything, especially if it's in your front yard, please feel free. If you see a landscape committee person, feel free to let them know or send an email to Dawn and we'll come by and take a look at it for sure. Let's see. One of the things we're trying to do here is we're going to be preparing this coming spring, probably March timeframe, for the new mulching of Division 2. So those of you that are aware or may not be aware that we remulch every 2 to 3 years. Last year was Division 1, and this coming year will be Division 2. So we're going to be working with Dawn and Monarch to prepare and make sure that we get everything remulched, all the front yards, all the common areas. And before we do that, Dawn is going to make sure that we send out an e-blast to everybody to let them know the schedule, when they can expect and what they can expect when we're pumping the mulch into the front yards. The other things we've got is we've got a scheduled walk coming up where we're going to talk about when we're going to turn on the irrigation system. As most of you know, it's off right now, but we're going to be looking at turning that back on in the early spring, and that'll mean us we'll have to make sure and have some maintenance done on it. There's probably a couple of sprinkler heads or whatever. So if you see anything that's leaking or anything as far as wrong with the irrigation system, please let Dawn and I know. And last but not least, I just wanted to let you know that we do still have a couple openings on the landscape committee. And despite what most people think, there really is no special knowledge needed. I don't have a botany background, I can guarantee you. But I do enjoy walking the neighborhood and looking at all the landscape. So that's all that's necessary. So if you're interested, please let Dawn know and she'll let me know, and come join us. That's it.
All right. Thanks, Ed.
Ed?
All right.
Jennifer, Mel's out. She's got a vendor. She just contacted me and said that she has a vendor coming to her house. So she asked if I would read her report for free. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on Mel's behalf. As many of you know, Mel Greaves is the Communications Committee chairperson, and her and Miriam do a fantastic job working on the newsletter and assisting with getting communication out. So what she asked me to share is the newsletter, as we put in the last newsletter, that is the last one that will be mailed out, which will save the association a lot of money on postage and having those printed. From now on, they will be electronic. However, we will have some copies in the pavilion. I know some folks really love to have those hard copies. So we will have some in the pavilion lobby on that table right at the entry door. And then the PDF will be on the portal, and then Mel will be emailing that out from the community mailer list. And then a reminder to contact Takara directly for events, gatherings, and pavilion reservations. And if you're interested in working on the communication committee, please email me, and then I will forward that on and get you hooked up so that you can meet with Mel and the rest of the committee. And that's it for the communication committee notes.
Great, thanks. Jeannie, I saw you on here, so you can go for the pavilion committee. That darn mute button here. Let's see if I can help you.
I got her.
Got it. Okay.
There we go. There we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeannie Reeder, and for those of you that have not met me, I'm a homeowner. My husband, Alan, and I have been here since May of 2019, so coming up on 3 years. Just really has gone by so fast. I wanted to say thank you to Bill Smiley, who was the committee chair for the Pavilion Committee, who just had his last little bit of time in October and did a great job with orienting me to the committee as well as the other members. So we owe a great deal of thanks to Bill for all that he's done in the past and continues to do as he stays on our committee as an advisory member. So thanks to Bill. And the job of the committee for the pavilion is to keep it maintained, to help with the homeowners as they want to have club meetings and private events. And it's our role to make sure that the pavilion is kept in good shape, that it's clean, that it's that we kind of teach members and our staff how to help the homeowners with anything in the committee, in the pavilion that they need, how to turn on the television for one thing, the barbecues, whatever they need. There's also a great booklet in the pavilion right above the refrigerator. And that's a great demonstration of the work that the committee has already done, that if you get caught in not knowing something or looking for something, that you can find the answers there. If not, you can touch base with one of us on the committee. We've been pretty busy in the last couple of months. We've picked up a new homeowner member to our committee. Her name is Valerie Jenkins, and we're real happy to have her. And we're still have a couple of openings. If anybody's interested, contact Dawn, and then she'll contact us. We'll love to invite you to a committee meeting. One of the things that we really heard from the homeowners was about the cleanliness in the pavilion. That there was some things that weren't quite getting done, and people were wondering about that and how they got accomplished. We have some a vacuum cleaner and a floor cleaner in there that were donated to us, and we're going to put those items aside as we work with the contracted cleaner, who I believe now comes 3 times a week. So we would like to encourage those having meetings in the pavilion that at the conclusion of your meeting that you kind of look around the spot, make sure that everything has been picked up. If you see any messiness, that you get some help and get that cleaned up. And that way we can keep our beautiful pavilion just sparkling clean. We really love it. And as Bill says, consider that as part of your living room. So we want to keep that looking as good as your living room would, because that's a part for us. If you're looking to have some events planned in the springtime, I would get those to us. The event or the reservation form can be found at the portal. We also have some in the pavilion. If you need help filling those out, we're glad to help with that, but those will fill up really quickly as the weather warms up. We've had some issues about trespass in the pavilion, and I wanted to thank Janet Inslee. I'm not sure whether she's on here now, but she brought it to the attention that we had some barbecue burners left on. We think it was probably somebody in the area who just needed a little bit of warmth, and turn those on. So the committee will be working at our next meeting on the 8th about how to secure those, whether that's securing the propane or exactly what we need to do. We don't really want to put locks on it because we think it should be pretty accessible to our homeowners. So we will be working with that issue. And let's see, what else can I get to here? The trespass, again, the issues go back to kind of knowing your neighbor. And I know that in some of the meetings about security, we've talked about this, or others have spoken about it, is really getting to know your neighbors. So that if you see somebody at the pavilion, you can identify that that's a neighbor that you've met before, or you might want to go up and introduce yourself. And then that might be one way of finding whether that person is truly a homeowner or if they need some help getting oriented on their way and out of the Ovation project. I think that that's all I have. I think, again, we want to keep our pavilion beautiful and clean, and we encourage those of you that can wear masks to wear them, to use this sterilization processes that we have to keep ourselves all safe. And again, if you need anything from us, any one of us on the committee stands ready and willing to help.
So Jeannie and Jennifer, if we could update the members present about the pavilion patio heaters and what we're doing about those, as well as the siding on the patio, on the pavilion.
Right, there's a few maintenance issues that we have, and I didn't want to get too much into that, but I know one of the heaters has been replaced. The others, Dawn is working with a vendor to check into the process of getting those restored to us so that we will have heat on the patio. I know that Jennifer is working on the siding issues. Some of you may have seen the siding on the front of the pavilion is getting kind of worn. And so we're not sure whether that's a shingle issue, or if we have to replace the shingles, or if we have to stain them. And I see you smiling, Jennifer.
I did get an update. It is just stained, so we don't have to replace the
good,
shingles.
good.
So I'm working on getting that info.
Oh, great, great. Anybody else have any maintenance issues that they'd like to bring up just now? No, thank you, Bill, for that.
Thanks.
And
Right,
that's all I have.
Yeah, that's great. If you do have any issues, remember you can always send them to Dawn. She'll get them over to the committee, the Pavilion Committee to review. And during our board meetings, remember you can always use the chat function. We like to keep everyone muted while we're doing board business. And then if you need to say anything, try the chat, and then we can get to it a little bit later until we have our
Thank you.
Homeowner Forum. Thanks, Jeannie. That was great. So
Thanks.
That's our committee report. So I guess we just move on to the next item of business, which is our manager's report from Dawn.
Yes. So as Jeannie was discussing the pavilion cleaning service, we did have a meeting with the owner of the cleaning service, Jeannie and myself and Takara, and also Kelly. And so we had somebody who had been our cleaner and was amazing. And he his wife had some health issues and he left on paternity leave. So we now have a brand new person that the cleaning company is really excited about. The times that we have cleaning at the pavilion are Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And once the weather gets nice, we also like them to go and to clean the patio once a week during those warmer temperatures to keep it nice and clean out there. The pavilion windows quarterly contract was last cleaned in January. The Oak Tree Pavilion handyman caulked the fitness center windows in January. A plumber has been scheduled to look at the pavilion barbecue sink February 8th. And then the roof assessments, Sunset Air found a really tiny leak in the pavilion roof, which was dripping down into the system. And so we had 2 vendors give an assessment. And so those are being collected right now and prepared for the board. Sunset Air did come out and fix some pavilion thermostat issues during the cold weather in December. And one thing, just to let everybody know, I know that sometimes a red light comes on, and the red light, if it's not blinking, that means the heat is on. So that's a good thing. But if it's blinking, it says error, then there's an issue. And you would report that to me so that I could have Sunset Air come out and take a look. The electrician did come out on January 20th to fix one of the broken patio heaters and to inspect all of the patio heaters. So 3 of the patio heaters have been disconnected for further inspection. I have an appointment tomorrow with the installer electrician to take a look at those. And so right now we just have the one brand new. We just want to keep everything safe and do our due diligence in making sure that we're protecting the pavilion. The HOA landscaper is Monarch. They do post updates weekly to the portal under announcements. So we ask that homeowners please check for those weekly updates first. And also a reminder for homeowners not to call Monarch or to disturb their workers. If you have an issue or concern, then please make sure that you report those directly to me. You also can go into your portal and complete a resident request for a work order. And I get a little notification that there's a resident request in there. And if I see it's a work order, you can attach photos to that resident request, which are super helpful for the landscapers. And then I can automatically turn that into a work order for you. You can also go into the portal on your dashboard and look under your resident request and under work orders and see the process and the status. The updated annual 2022 annual calendar is on the portal under landscape documents. And we have been doing new homeowner orientations at the pavilion. Takara and I have been hosting those. The next is February 10th. We do send invites out to all the brand new homeowners. And so we also have a recording of the orientation. We have one that we did, which was a really long one last year with committee members, which is super informative. And then we have one that is the recording that Takara and I do, which is a shorter one. Those are also on the Oak Tree YouTube page. Many YouTube tutorials have been completed on the Oak Tree YouTube page, and those can be found on the portal. If you go to the menu items and look under links, there is the Oak Tree YouTube page for how to navigate the portal. And then also Mike Smith and the Pavilion Committee did an excellent job doing some very professional, beautiful videos that show you how to navigate the pavilion and how to turn things on. And then a reminder on the portal, there is the HOA responsibilities versus non-responsibilities posted on the portal under documents, annual disclosures. And sometimes there's a little bit of confusion between warranty and HOA, police and HOA. And just so you are informed, there is that document there for your review. And so for the portal updates, there are 273 registered members on file. There are more emails just because sometimes people have more than one email registered. But right now we have 273 registered for the Oak Tree portal. As for reports, the ACC report, notes report, work order report, violation, association reports were included for the board. Subscription reports can be sent to the board and to the committees as needed. And that concludes the manager's report.
Great, thanks, Dawn. So next thing is under our new business. So you'll be all receiving an e-blast very shortly, like probably fairly soon after this meeting, announcing the process of getting a budget advisory group formed to work on the budget for our next 2023 budget. Essentially, it's going to be a group of 3 homeowner volunteers. There'll be a process of submitting a small little questionnaire sheet and a resume as part of your application package. We'll be giving everyone the whole month of February to have the opportunity to do what they need to do to get their package crafted and submitted to Dawn. This will all also be in your e-blast as well. So we'll be looking for 3 qualified homeowner volunteers to be part of this budget advisory group. The board will be appointing 3 members for this 2022 fiscal year, and they will be working on the 2023 budget quite extensively. And you know, part of this process is they'll work extensively and in conjunction with the board and management to propose a budget to the board by August 1st. So we can start this process of reviewing and seeing what their proposed budget looks like. So you'll get that e-blast with the information, with the questionnaire and what you need to do. So for those who are interested, start crafting your resumes and submit your application and whatnot to Dawn. If you still have additional questions about the budget advisory group and the process, please send them to Dawn. She will get them to the board and we'll get them answered. But yeah, you'll be receiving that today. So we're getting that process started. And, you know, it's just, well, basically once we collect and the board has a chance to review all of our applications, we'll be narrowing it down to another batch of qualified candidates, and then we'll be holding interviews. So just so you understand the process. So yeah, that's coming out. So we've been working pretty hard on that. We did our due diligence and we did a lot of research with other associations very similar to yours, other associations and management companies that have done budget advisory groups, and got a lot of really great feedback and ideas on how we should do. So this will be for this year, the 2022 fiscal year, and we'll assess and get feedback from the 3 qualified homeowner volunteers that are on it and see if we need to make any changes moving forward and restructuring and whatnot. So we'll see how it goes and take it from there. So look for that in your inbox. I know Dawn has it ready to go. So that's that. And then we did have an update to the 48-hour rule with the RV. Dawn, can you help me with this one?
Yes, so originally it was 24-hour load and 24-hour unload. And we did have some requests from some homeowners to increase that to 48 hours. So the board has increased that loading 48 hours, unloading 48 hours. That gives you a little bit of extra time.
Yeah, and that was great feedback from the ownership on that one as well. So Takara, would you like to talk about upcoming events and how things are going?
I would love to. For those of you that have not had the opportunity to meet me, my name is Takara. I'm the lifestyle manager for Ovation at Oak Tree. And in the month of January, we were really busy. We had 3 new clubs that popped up and have been meeting regularly. So we have a new Ovation book club that has started, that their focus is strictly stories that are uplifting and make you feel good about yourself. So that is meeting on the 3rd Wednesday of every month. We also have a Pinnacle group that has popped up, and they are meeting on Mondays at 4 p.m. So even if you don't know how to play the game, local resident Hank Shigal, I think is how you say his last name, has been gracious enough to host that class and teach everyone how to play. And we also have Mahjong that is starting on Mondays at 1 p.m. So there are about 4 people that participate in that right now. They are trying to figure out if they're going to play the American style or the Chinese style on the regular basis. So hopefully I'll have that information to you guys shortly. For the month of February, we have something on the calendar every single day except for 3 days in February. So we're very busy. So if you guys do have specific requests for the Pavilion for private events or functions, please reach out to myself or Jeannie at the Pavilion Committee so we can get that on the calendar, hopefully sooner rather than later, so that we have that opportunity to allow you guys to utilize that pavilion space for your own personal use. And again, you are always welcome to come down to the pavilion at any time during the week. We ask that you be mindful of the large room when there is a private event. Be mindful of the fact that an individual has reserved that space, which also includes the barbecue area and the patio space. So please be respectful of that in their surroundings. Other than that, we are being mindful of people's concerns for safety. So I'm regularly sanitizing the space after every group that I'm there for. Masks are encouraged when we are not actively eating or drinking. And we ask that if you are eating and drinking and you're the only one doing so, that you socially distance yourself from those individuals. So we hope to see you guys that have not made the trek down to the pavilion recently at one of our events soon. And again, if you have any ideas or suggestions of things that you would like to see on the calendar in the coming months, please reach out to me.
All right, great, thanks. All right, so that takes us to, Dawn, you're gonna do snow plan reminders?
Yes, so there has been some confusion on the snow plan. Myself and the board and the committees worked really hard last year to come up with something that is workable for everyone. And a reminder that we can't plow Thurston County roads. And I know there's a lot of confusion and upset about that, but even the vendors won't plow the roads just because Thurston County does not allow it. However, we have to do our due diligence and make sure that around the pavilion is plowed and sanded, and that the parking lots and the alleyways are cleared, and that's in accordance to our CCNRs. So the plan, if there's a big snow event coming, and I realize this is the Great Northwest and every once in a while something's going to come by surprise, but if we know that a snow plan is coming, then the first thing that I'm going to do is send out an email, e-blast to everyone and say, hey, if you can stay home, please do that. If you need to go out and get some supplies, let's get that done. Then from there, if there is an accumulation of 2 inches or more of snow, then the committee chairs will meet with the board. Generally, that's Steve, the homeowner board member there, and they will discuss, do we need to bring the snow plow out? What do we need to do? And then if it's during office hours, then I will go ahead and call those vendors and get them to come out and take care of that. We also have some ice melt in the pavilion storage room, which is where the trash cans are. So Pavilion Committee, myself, Takara, different committees, different homeowners can sprinkle that around depending on, what's going on with the snow. If it's after hours, then the committee chairs will meet with Steve and either Ed Logan, who is the committee chair of the landscape committee, or Steve Bay, who's your homeowner board member, will be calling those vendors to have them come out if they decide that, yes, indeed, we need to call those vendors out to snowplow and to lay down the ice melt. And so that is the snow plan. I do have it up on the portal, so if you want to review that at your leisure, you can do that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I just want to thank the members of the snow plan group that helped me to call for the vendor this past December. And I really want to thank the people that got out with their snow shovels and helped me shovel the pavilion walkways. That was terrific, everybody. We had to do that a number of times, and it was great seeing everybody pitch in. So thank you.
Thanks. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse. COVID safety. We all realize we don't want anyone getting sick. We don't want anything to happen. So like Takara said, just to reiterate, please make sure if you can wear your masks and using any sanitation protocols. Just, we don't want an event, especially with these variants that keep cropping up here and there. So please be safe. Please be mindful. Please do not use the facility if you think you're ill. And I think it's becoming hopefully standard knowledge for everyone. So with that, I'll pop into the Taylor Morrison thing. There was a couple of questions that came through that I'll get to first. Someone had reached out and wanted to kind of understand, let's see here, it says, can we have an off-leash dog park? And what they were asking to do is utilize retention pond 1. So unfortunately, we can't just repurpose land that's been designated for stormwater management. And our retention ponds, even though they look like they're just kind of big areas that don't have water and just look like dirt. I know this year they actually had water in them. We can't just repurpose them for a need that we might want. They're platted and they're recorded and they're approved that way. So with that in mind, we can't repurpose retention pond 1 for a dog park. I'm not sure if they'll be off leash, but I know part of the programming for the villages is stipulating a dog park area. I don't know the specific details, whether or not it's going to be off leash, on leash. I don't know those details. So as soon as we do, we'll be able to share and communicate that, but that is a part of the programming for the villages. So there will be some form of space to provide that need. Someone had asked about tree survival in the plan and the preserve, and some of you may have noticed there were some cones lying on the ground. Those are the sleeves that protect the saplings, and we did get a bunch of them that must have come off, removed. There is a 5 or 6 year monitoring plan for the preserve, and if you're really curious and want to know about the preserve and the rate of the saplings, Dawn actually has the annual reports. And if you would like to look at that, I believe it's somewhere on the portal as well. I don't remember. off the
Posted on the
top of my
portal
head.
under landscape documents.
There we go. And if you want to, see it, Dawn can help facilitate that. So I'm not quite sure what exactly they were looking for. It just says circus cones in the preserve. So yeah, we did get the ones, Steve took pictures, and we did get the ones that were lying just on the ground. So that's great. Someone asked about picnic tables, and that's a good question. I'm actually working with land development. There are some picnic tables anticipated in a couple of the pocket parks that have not been installed yet. So we're working on that. I think we'd need to know where people are wishing picnic tables. It would be considered a capital improvement to the community because it's a permanent installation and improvement, which is not a bad idea. So we just need to understand that a little bit more. But I know in the next coming months or so, I'm working with land development because there are, I'm thinking at least 2 slated for some of these pocket parks. So hopefully that might satisfy that need. So more to come on that. And then let's see here. She just addressed the snow. And as Dawn, I'm just going to reiterate, if someone wanted to, oh, Dawn, remember the storm drains? Didn't you make a phone call when the snow and the storm
Yes,
drain?
I did. And Thurston County said that any homeowner can call if you have a concern about storm drain. I did call Thurston County and they said that they are working on, they've got a punch list and they were working on that.
Great. So we do have a small, short presentation. It's under 3 minutes. So I know there's a lot of burning questions about development and lack of development and movement and construction. So our Seattle Taylor Morrison Division President, Pete Limberis, was hoping to be here, but something came up. So we have a pre-recorded message. So we're going to actually, in a second here, flip the screen and we're going to show you Pete's face, and we're going to play his pre-recorded message so you can hear it from him on some of the hot topics we know that are going around. And so what I do encourage you to do right now, because everyone's on a different system, that you turn up your volume right now on your phone or your laptop or your computer. Since we are replaying it through Zoom, we want to make sure that you can hear it. And as a reminder, this is going to be recorded, and once Dawn compresses it and she can truncate it, she'll have it on the portal, so you'll be able to watch it again if you didn't catch everything. So go ahead, Dawn, if you don't mind playing Pete's message to the Oak Tree ownership.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to talk with you today. My name is Pete Limberis, and I'm the Division President of Taylor Morrison here in Washington. I would have liked to have spoken to you in person, but the timing of this meeting didn't allow with my schedule, as there are a number of business matters that require my attention. I want to also thank you for purchasing a Taylor Morrison home, and hope you're enjoying your new home and the community, which, as you know, is in its early stages of development. As we're in our early stages of the community, I wanted to personally give you a brief community development update. First, I'd like to discuss our Division 3 plat, which recently completed site development and is currently working through the final platting process. There is more than construction of roads that makes a community ready to build homes, as there is a significant amount of legal paperwork and formal document recording of a final plat that goes along with it. While our Division 3 is physically complete, we are still working with the county on an updated community agreement. We are nearing what we believe to be an agreement on final terms with the county and hope to have that complete and the plat recorded in the next month or so. Once we record our final plat, we'll need to apply for building permits, start construction on our homes, and work toward the closing of our first Division 3 home. Until we record the final plat, we won't be able to estimate when the first home will be closed, but please rest assured that we're working as hard and fast as we can to make that happen. Please also know that Taylor Morrison and the board understand how the delay impacts the HOA budget, and that again, we're working very hard to start and build our first homes there. I'm sure you've also seen we've also started work on the new banquet and pool building. I hope that's as exciting for you as it is for us. This effort is an entirely separate effort from the Division 3 plat across the street and requires its own process and permits. We had started the site work for the amenity buildings early in the fall in hopes of getting building permits from the county by now. And while the county has been helpful, they've been short-staffed and further challenged with COVID, as has everyone. We did finally receive review comments on our building permits last week, and we're working tirelessly to address those comments with our architect now. While we don't have any definitive timelines, we do hope to have permits in the coming months, at which point we're very excited to get started. We have, however, finally received our site work permits and are now working with our contractor to complete our contract with them so they can continue with the site work, so the site is ready when we finally do receive our building permits. At this time, we're tentatively projecting that mid to late 2023 is when we'll have the amenity buildings ready for your full enjoyment. We're confident you'll absolutely love them when they're done. Finally, I'd like to talk a little about Taylor Morrison. 2021 was a big year for Taylor Morrison. We became a Fortune 500 company and the 5th largest builder in the nation. We've been yet again voted America's most trusted builder for the 7th year in a row and continue to make great strides in home building. Taylor Morrison has a strong balance sheet, is very bullish on the Puget Sound market, and we're here to stay. Oak Tree is one of our best communities that has many great years ahead of it, and I'm proud to say we'll be here to make sure the entire community is built to our standards and remains the gem that it is. Thank you so much for giving me a few minutes to update you on the community, and if you have any questions, please let Jennifer or Karen know, as they have been an integral part of this community and worked very hard for you to make it all come together. Thanks again, and have a great night.
Like I said, this will be recorded, so if you want to go back and review some of the things you said, you'll be able to go ahead and do that. Yeah, Pete really wanted to be here, but you know, there's a lot of moving parts in the construction business that we're dealing with. So that's pretty much our Taylor Morrison update, I guess, which takes us to the Homeowner Forum. So if you have a question or a comment, please use the chat function. Doesn't look like anyone's also, if you want to unmute to speak. Like, you know, like we always say, you may not remember right now, but if you think of something later, I always get random car thoughts. Send them to Dawn. Yeah.
I had asked a question a long time ago, if there was any way that we could see the entire master plan, you know, with all the divisions. I know those kinds of things change, but maybe it could be something on the portal that could be changed where we can see divisions 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, or however many they are.
So there is a plan that Thurston County has, because I know homeowners actually have pulled it off of public records because it's recorded. It was done, I believe, in 2017, maybe even 2016. It does show all the divisions. However, it is very long, and it is so ridiculously tiny that I don't think we'd be able to post it on the portal. Maybe we could post the link to it.
There's nothing that Taylor Morrison could put out that, I mean, they're drawn that's easier to read.
I do not currently have any marketing materials or a tool of that nature right now to share with you of the whole master plan, other than that thing that was recorded that is rather teeny. So, I mean, we can gain access to it. It's just, it is really small to see, but you do get a general idea of all the other divisions of the whole plat.
Yeah, if you could put a link up, that'd be great.
Okay, we can do that. Okay. Awfully quiet today.
Anyone else?
Jody?
Yeah, so a continuing concern for me, and I just want to know where the board is going with this, is the speeding that is on Oakwood. And I continue to see a lot of the contractors and some residents speeding on Oakwood at very fast miles per hour. And I'm very concerned about the people that have to cross Oakwood to get to their mail, and very concerned for the safety of our neighbors. And so I know we had a committee that did some stuff, and we got very little feedback from the board on that. And I just need to know and understand what we're doing about this issue.
Dawn, do you remember I see you were on the call. Do you remember the recommendations from the committee or your group, your speed awareness? I felt like what I remember from that is that we weren't taking any action based upon the findings of the speed studies.
Oh,
Okay.
Don's muted.
Don, we can't hear you. I can't hear him. Can anyone else hear him?
No, I think his microphone is off.
Yeah.
I just wanted one comment on that speed study. It was found that over 93% of the people that drive on Oakwood are speeding. And so to me, that means there needs to be some kind of intervention to stop it, because I'm very afraid that one of our neighbors are going to be injured.
Well, Jody, I do believe we responded, and we looked at all of the possible physical barriers that could be put in place, and so many of them were disallowed by the county. Some of the things like a solar-powered electric sign that tells you when you're speeding, or putting up flags. We have to remember that we failed to pass the budget, so we can't really ethically spend money on anything like that right now. I hope that helps, but so many of these things were restricted by the county as to what we could do and what we couldn't do. So we couldn't paint on the streets. We couldn't put up speed bumps. We did ask the sheriff's department to come out, and you saw the speed indicator on a trailer there for a number of months, and we can have that come back free of charge. But yeah, there wasn't a good way to solve the problem. And as far as the problem, the speed study you're talking about, it looked to us from the speed study that the average rate of speeding was nominal. It wasn't much more than 4 or 5 miles per hour over the speed limit.
Correct.
And that's fine, except for 25 miles an hour in a residential street. Anything over that is really creating issues. I mean, it is. And I don't know, and I was on the committee, and we did submit to you things that were allowed by the county. And so I don't understand why you're saying that they weren't allowed by the county, because they were, and speed bumps are allowed by the county. There just has to be a study done for that. And so again, I don't understand. You're right. We can't paint stuff on there. That wasn't one of the recommendations from the committee. But crosswalks, the flags were recommended by the committee, and that is something that is allowed by the county. So, and being as far as the budget is concerned, and we aren't authorized to do that. Well, there's things we're spending now in the budget that we weren't authorized, that aren't authorized in the budget. I know that. And so I don't get why you would say it's not something that you would feel ethically.
Yeah, it's a difference between continuing operating expenses that we have to pay and paying for something that's new.
Yeah, but what if it's a concern? I mean, we've talked about the dog parks and, things like that. And I don't get where we're going to get the money for. I mean, that's something new, but yet they're considering the bench, the picnic tables. I don't know. To me, safety is a much higher priority.
I hear you. We've looked at it, and we don't see the need for adding anything at this time. We'd like to relook at it again once the community is more further built out, and we see what the traffic pattern will be after it's changed and it's permanent.
Anything else? I don't see anything in chat. I'm scrolling through the pictures here to see. Oh, those are all. Well, if we don't have anything currently at the moment, we will probably go ahead and formally adjourn. But like we've always said, if you have anything come up, please send it to Dawn. She sends it to the board. We'll review it and get back to you. Yeah. So I will go ahead and formally adjourn then at 4:57. Our next board meeting is April 27th. So we'll have more information about our budget advisory group and everything else that's upcoming for the year. All right, great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.